She is like a force of nature as well as the most phenomenal ballerina.
1 minute she'll just be on the ground and then suddenly, pow, she's there, she's flying through the air.
I just love art and dance. It's like it's my life.
It was really an idea that was brought to me by Justine and another producer, and they said to me, wouldn't you be interested in making a film about Natalia Osipova, who I'd known a little bit from seeing her at Covent Garden and that, you know, in Sadler's Wells, but I didn't know much about her personally. And I said, well, do you think she'll be able to do it in English? Because I would find it quite hard to communicate if we can't speak the same language, and, you know, and there's that barrier between us. So they said, well, come and see her. She's rehearsing The Mother, which was this performance, and we attended a rehearsal during which she was quite taciturn, quite self-contained, very on her own, looking at her phone the whole time, and seemed to only speak Russian. So I was like, my God, this isn't going to be easy, and I don't know whether it's possible. So we then took it to various producers and broadcasters and things like this, and everybody said to us, is it going to be like a real-life version of Black Swan? And I said, well, you know, it's going to have the intrigue and the backstabbing, all these elements. I said I didn't think it really would, because she wasn't that kind of person. And then they all also said to us, could it be like Dancer, the film about Sergei Polunin, who was obviously her partner for a while. So again, I said, I don't think it's going to have the drugs and the emotional breakdown and this, because I don't think that's Natalia. She is more of an artist who rehearses, performs, rehearses and performs. And anyway, finally Jack at Sky Arts agreed with us that that's what the film should be, and Erwin and Jeremy at Naxos also came on board, and we were able to get the money together to make this film. It wasn't easy, but we did it. And as we progressed, it became increasingly clear that she had slightly conned us in that first rehearsal, because she suddenly seemed very funny and amusing. She was very open and charming, and miraculously her English seemed to have improved dramatically, which may have had something to do with the fact she had a fiancé who was American. So as over this period we were filming, she seemed to get more and more fluent and eloquent in the way she was able to do it, and we were able to make the film in English, which was a great relief to me. And she began to express herself very well, I think, in English and in the way that she performed. And what we lost perhaps on the depth that she might have given us in Russian, we gained on the charm and impish humour that I think you'll see she displays throughout the film, as well as the amazing dance that she gives us in this documentary, which is also a longer version, but we're showing you the television version of 52 minutes. So I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
And I think it was a really lucky film, you know, and the fact that we got to make a 50-minute version and an 80-minute version, a feature version and a TV version, was just this great boon. But really it was Jerry. Jerry just made it all look easy.
Yeah, Jerry, you made it. I mean, you have made some very, quite well-known and awarded films about artists like Claes Oldenburg and Gerhard Richter. How is it when somebody moves quickly as Natalia in front of the camera, which Gerhard Richter wouldn't do? So how was it to actually accompany Natalia over, I think, one full season? So where did it start and how did he come out of that?
Well, I think we felt that if we could capture a year in her life, a sort of full season, we'd be able to show the enormous variety of her work, and also to sort of see this thing that she does, which is to combine ballet dancing and her enormously successful career at Covent Garden and the Royal Ballet, along with this very personal, more contemporary work, working with a lot of choreographers she knew. And so I just felt that if we could get the cameras into all these rehearsals and get as close as we could with the cameras, film it all with 2 cameras, and just keep pushing with her and getting her more and more interested in the idea of the film and what we could do to show her, we would have something quite unique and exciting. And, you know, we were lucky with Makarova and La Bayadère to see these 2 working together and so on, and all her different collaborations with dancers and choreographers. And then I had this idea that if you put them talking together, she would become more relaxed, particularly if she was speaking not in her home language. But I think she sort of warmed up and opened up, and by the end she was like, just come as close as you can. When we asked her in one of the Q&As, did it bother her that we were so close? She said no. She had little awareness of the fact that we were standing in front of her with these wide lenses, which gave you the feeling of being right there. Until finally, I think I was on the second camera, and she sort of did this thing in the second to last piece with her boyfriend, and came sort of crashing into me. And you can sort of see it, the camera, and I realised I think we were probably getting a little too close. But that was the idea of the film, was to sort of, you know, to really capture the essence of what it is to be a dancer at her level.
Really came close to her. I mean, she's herself. She says she's sometimes she's a moody person. Did you find her someday in a really bad mood as well?
She was pretty good with the cameras. I mean, you know, she knew when when the cameras were on. She was less. But I mean, you could see elements with her, with Jason, with her boyfriend, where they were a little bit niggling each other and so on. Obviously, there was a lot more tension than perhaps we were shown. But you know, I think if she didn't want us to be there, we were not allowed in. But most of the time, I think she was pretty, you know, open and communicative.
I mean, I think one of the amazing things about the film is you just see this volume of work that she commits to every year. And I think her personality is such that she doesn't have these volcanic explosions. She doesn't do sex and drugs and rock and roll. I mean, what I find so inspiring about the film is how committed she is to her passion, which is dance. And I think that's what Jerry was so effortlessly clever about catching. It's really a film about someone's passion for what they do, you know, and the personality that goes along with that. I mean, the discipline of her schedule is just extraordinary, you know. So that's what Jerry caught. He caught the kind of sweat and, you know, blood, sweat and tears of it, which is really the blood, sweat and tears of her life.
Yeah, which pretty much happens in rehearsals and performance. And you know, when she's in contemporary, she's sort of down on the floor, and when she's in ballet, she's up in the air. But you know, in the end, that's what it became, was a film about these incredible rehearsals, which were almost performances in themselves, and obviously the performance. And you know, Justine and the other producer were very good at sort of keeping her on board and talking to her and making her feel part of it. And that was the way we were able to, you know, to capture this amount of variety for very. I'm sure if you had a lot of money, you could carry on forever, but we didn't. And what we captured, I think, on the budget we made this film was pretty amazing.
One of the strongest moments is also the scenes from The Mother. I mean, you also produced the full length of The Mother, so that's, of course, it's another great new program for her.
I mean, I don't know how everyone watched the film this evening, but I think that some of the feedback we've got from audiences is that contemporary dance can be quite difficult if you don't know what it is. And one of the things that I love about this film is you get really up close and personal with the process of creating a contemporary piece, and that was The Mother. And Arthur is, as is said in the film, a really interesting choreographer in as much as he's choreographing these really quite complicated pieces for women. And in the 82-minute version, there's a sequence that Jerry included that Arthur was inspired to write for Natalia because of her extraordinary Giselle. And so it's a kind of dark, gothic, comic version of Giselle. But Arthur is also someone who's very fluent in classical dance and can appreciate that education that Natalia has, and then really kind of exploit it and explode it really in this really quite sensationally dark piece, The Mother, which we also had the joy really of filming and creating as a performance piece.
And it was great that we were able to film it as a performance at the height. And we did it at the first time in Edinburgh, and actually wasn't good enough. We then filmed it again in London a few months later, when it was much more developed and more slick and powerful. Perhaps, you know, different kind of energy, I should say. But it's a really dark and wonderful piece, and with these strange kind of changes, and you saw a little bit of it. But the full-length thing is amazing, and it was voted as in the Guardian poll the best dance works of last year. It was in the top 10, I think. And then Jonathan Goddard just won the award for Best Male Dancer in a Contemporary Work in that as well. So it's been very lauded and everything, and I think it's a wonderful companion piece, or the other way around, perhaps the documentary is a wonderful companion piece to this full-length version of The Mother, which is available, I think.
Yeah, of course, that's the other message. Of course, you found the flyers on your table, so all the footage, the wonderful footage in the film, it's full-length ballets, and actually Natalia did all the full-length classical ballets and these pieces, the contemporary pieces. But you also asked the right question. I mean, how did you see that film? So I want to open the question to the audience. So if there's any question to Justine or Jerry, just feel free.
We have seen quite a lot of dance films like this, and very often there is more tension, more drama between the dancers and choreographer or somebody. Was there so little, or was it conscious that you cut that out, so to say? If there was, because it's almost unbelievable that.
No, I, to be honest, if there'd been more drama, it would have been in the film.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
not. She's somebody who is very collaborative and works to get rid of all the drama, and I think that's the point of, unlike her ex-boyfriend Palunin, who's all about the drama and so on. And as you say, in many films you see a lot more. Hers is a collaborative way of working. She's a charmer. She smiles. She wants to collaborate to find a way through it, and she's incredibly professional. So I don't think you get as much of the explosions as you might with somebody else. We got what we got, and I can assure you, if there had been a lot more drama, we would have put it in, because it's always good in a film.
This is the 37th edition of Avant Premiere, and we will present an extraordinary screening program, and of course a very, very interesting conference program with a cross-sector day with representatives from different sectors coming from the creative industry. And we will also have special matchmaking sessions, Sunny Side of the Dog pitching session, as well as an innovation day.
And an amazing opening movie.
Yeah, it was a very, very touching movie about a brilliant, extraordinary dancer, and I hope you will all see it on TV.
Soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much, Katarina.